everyone, welcome back to IntelliSkills. In this video, we are going to learn about methods in Java. Now, if you want to add two numbers in Java, how will you do that? Let's see. So you will have int a, which is equal to 3. We have int b, which is equal to 4, and you have after that you just say a plus b. This is how you do it, right? And if you run the program, you can see we have got 7. So this is how you add two numbers. Now, say suppose I want to add in somewhere in my code, I'm writing a very big code, and somewhere in my code I again need to add two numbers. So again I need to initialize a and b, again I need to add them, again I need to do this and that. So you want to do this, you want to reuse this code, right? Like you have to add multiple times in your program. So would it not be better if you have a template already? You have a template already, and there you just put the numbers and it adds up for you, just like you do in calculator. So that would be beneficial, right? That's what we have methods for. Like if you have to use certain function multiple times in a code, just put it in a method and use that method. Now what is a method? It is basically a logical block of code in Java. It takes certain input and it gives a certain output. Now how will you write a method in Java? If you want to write this only, that you take two numbers and then you add them, okay, this is your requirement. And how will you write a method for this? It's very simple. This is somewhat the syntax, just follow it. First you have to specify the return type. Okay, so what do you say about the return type? The return type is going to be int, right? Now what is the return type? Return type means see here you are taking two numbers and you are adding them. Okay, so you are adding them, that's the sum, right? Now what is the sum? It is an int. So what you are returning, what is your output? That is your int, right? So int is your return type, that is your output type, data type. Okay, so you say int and then you have your method name. We just call it add because that's what the function of the method is. After giving the name of the method, you have to give parenthesis. This indicates that this add is a method, okay, this parenthesis. And after that, here in this curly braces, you will have your block of code, okay, you will have your operations. But what will you give in this parenthesis? There will be nothing, right? No, there will be something. Now here we pass the input or the parameter or the arguments, parameters or arguments, that's what we call the input. So what will be the input here? It will be a and int b. These are going to be the input, right? The numbers that we are giving the user to add, the numbers that we are taking to add them, right? This will be the input, and we call this parameters or arguments in Java. Okay, and in this parenthesis we can pass as many as you as we want. Okay, here I'm just taking a and b, and now inside this block we are going to perform our operations. Okay, we are going to write our logic. Now what is the logic? So you say int sum is equal to a plus b. Okay, and now what we do is we return the sum. Okay, we return sum. You have to use this return keyword and then you have to return something, because here you have provided int type, so you have to return a int type. Okay, got it? So we return sum. Instead of writing this, I can say int sum is equal to, now instead of doing all that thing that we do, we are going to call our add method. Now what do you mean by calling a method? See, for this method to function, you just cannot run the program and expect the add method to give any output. Like it doesn't work like that. This is our main method. Yes, main is also a method. It has string of array args as the parameter. Okay, and in Java only the main method runs, we can run only the main method, right? So you have to call our add method in the main method. Okay, and after that we have to pass some parameters, some input. Okay, and after that only the method is going to work, it is going to run. Okay, so we have to call the method to see the output. Okay, now how do we call the method? Now we cannot just access the method like this. We have to use a keyword here, which is called the static keyword. Here also you might have noticed we have public static void main. See, first we have a class called demo here. Okay, and if you notice, all our code is being written, all our methods, all our code, it is being written in this class demo. Okay, if you just see, if you copy this and if you paste this outside the class, you can see it gives the error, because like if you comment this out and if you write the program here, if you write that block of code here, you can see Java is not able to, this IDE is not able to process this. This block of code is not getting processed, because why? It is written outside class. Now what is a class? It is like a folder, a container where you where you store all, where you write all your code, you write your methods and everything. Okay, for just now remember that it is like a container or folder where you are going to write your code, and we are going to learn more about classes in your OOPS concept. Okay, now we have also written our add method in the demo class, right? Now normally you are supposed to make a object of your class, and then you are supposed to call your method. Okay, but if you give the static keyword before the method, then you can access it just with your class name. Okay, you don't need to create an object of it, or you don't need to create another container of that object. Okay, I know that you don't know about objects now. It is going to be in your OOPS concept, which you are going to learn about very soon. But for now, just think of this analogy. You have made a recipe, okay, of how to make Maggi. Okay, now if you stick the recipe on the wall, then everyone is going to see it, everyone can access that method. Okay, that recipe. Okay, now if you keep that recipe in your friend's secret diary, then no one can access it that easily. They have to ask permission from you, then your friend. Okay, then they can access the recipe. So are you getting my point? Using the static keyword. The static keyword is basically like you are sticking the recipe on the wall. So basically that represents the static keyword. If you use the static keyword, you can access the method just by using the class name. But if you are keeping it in your friend's secret diary, then you have to access the add method using the object of the class. That's very tiring. We don't want to do that. We just want to access it using the class name. For at least this session, we have to use. I will function with all the methods with the static keyword. Okay. So you can just say demo, which is the class name, and how to access the method. You can say dot. You have to say dot. Okay, to access any element of the demo class. So here you have add method. You can see it is coming add. Now in between this parenthesis, you have to pass the parameters. Okay, now for what are the parameters? Int a and int b. So you say for int a you can say 3, comma, for int b you can say 4. So in the memory what happens is 3 is assigned to int a, 4 is assigned to int b, and then int sum is equal to a plus b. That means it does 3 plus 4 and then it returns sum. Okay, this sum. Now I will tell you one thing in a minute. If you print sum and if you run the program, then you can see our method is perfectly working. It is giving 7. Okay, now you can think that here also you have int sum. In this add method you have int sum equal to a plus b, and here also in the main method you have int sum equal to demo.add. Why it is not giving error? We are using sum in both the cases. This is called scope in Java. So here you have these curly braces, these blocks. Okay, so that means this int sum is in between this block, and this int sum is between the main method block. This int sum, okay, it is between the main method block. Okay, so these two sums are literally different. If you say a instead of sum, and here also you print a, and here if you change this to x, okay, and you try to say x plus b, you can see it does not recognize x because x is declared in the main method block. Okay, so this is called scope in Java, where you have declared the variables, you can use it in that block only. Okay, now you have seen this return type int. There can be many return types. It can return a string as well, many other things. Okay, a method does not only mean that it necessarily has to be add method, subtract method, multiply method, divide method. No, methods can be like, suppose you want to print name, okay, print my name. There will be a method with the name print my name. Okay, that can also be a method. It doesn't necessarily have to be add, subtract, or very like logical. That is also logic that you are printing your name, right? If I create a static method print my name, okay, parenthesis, what do we enter? A string name we entered. Okay, this is going to be our parameter. Okay, we are going to print the name. So print name. Now what is it? Given error? Yes, I have not said the return type. Okay, what will be the return type? What do you think? I'm just printing. What do you think will be the return type? Int, float, string? Am I returning a string? I don't think so. I'm returning a string. If I would have said return name, then I'm returning a string, but I'm not doing that. I'm just printing name. So basically I'm not returning anything, and when you're not returning anything, it is called void. When you're not returning anything, the return type is going to be called void. Okay, now if you want to call the print my name method, how will you do that? So you can just call it with the class name demo dot what? Yes, print my name. Okay, now inside this you need to pass Shinjini, and now if you run the program, you can see it prints 7, that was the previous thing, and now it prints Shinjini. Can you have absolutely no parameters and you want it to print something? Print, maybe like in this case you want to print I am a good. Maybe you want to print this. Okay, print instead of print my name, I can just say print nonsense. If you instead of this print my name, you can call it print nonsense, and in this print nonsense you cannot pass any parameter because it does not have any parameter to be passed. And if you run the program, you can see it prints I am a coder, no parameter. Okay, now there is a concept of methods called method overloading. If you delete this nonsense print nonsense, you delete this thing also. Now what is method overloading? A method overloading basically is you have methods with same name but different parameters. That is called method overloading. You want to see an example? Yes, you have to. So if you copy this method, add method, okay, and the same name you want to have, but instead of now 2 parameters, you want to have an int c as well. Okay, now a plus b plus c. This is called method overloading. I hope you got it. Now sum is equal to demo.add. So first it sees that 3 and 4 is getting called. That means 2 parameter. It will call the method with 2 parameters. So it calls this method, okay, which has 2 parameters. Okay, add method with 2 parameters. Okay, now what happens? 3 gets assigned to a, 4 gets assigned to b. Now 3 plus 4, 7. 7 is sum. That means it returns sum, which is 7. Okay, now instead of 3, 4, what if I put 5 as well? It has 3, 4, 5. So do you think it will call this method, this add method which has 2 parameters? Absolutely not. It will call the add method which has 3 parameters. Okay, it searches and it does the one with 3 parameters. Now a gets 3 gets assigned to a, 4 gets assigned to b, and 5 gets assigned to c, and after that a plus b plus c, 3 plus 4 plus 5, which I think is 12. Yes, it is 12. If you run the program, you can see it is 12. Okay, so this is what method overloading is. Okay, same name, different parameters. Okay, now how how does this whole code, okay, this whole code, how does it work in the memory? So what happens, what is the first step in the memory? That is the JVM, the Java Virtual Machine, or the Java interpreter. It loads the .class file, that means the demo.class file, to the memory. After that, a thing called stack is created. A stack memory is created, okay? So the stack memory is now empty. Now let me tell you. So let us first understand what is a stack memory. Stack memory is a place like this. What is the structure? It is the structure like this. So here I am having 4 books, okay, and these books are stacked on one top of the other, right? So this is the structure of a stack memory. Stack frames are stacked on one, like on top of one another. And what do these stack frames contain? These stack frames contain methods. When they're called, methods are called, right? You know how methods are called. So when methods are called from the main method, or even when the main method enters the program, they are stored in particular stack frames. Got it? Okay, like this is one stack frame, this is another stack frame, this one is another stack frame, this is another stack frame. Okay, now you cannot just simply take out the third stack frame from the middle. You are allowed to only take this out, for instance, or like add another book on the top. Okay, add another stack frame on the top, or remove that stack frame. Okay, not allowed to take from the last, from this one, or from this one. You cannot take this one out, for instance. Okay, you have to take the topmost one out. Got it? Like this it happens. Now let us understand using this. So demo.class is loaded, stack memory gets created, which is empty. Now it sees the main method. So what will happen? Main will also get like loaded. Main will also come to the view. But where will the main method be stored? It is a method. It is getting called. Now it will be stored in a stack frame like this. Okay. In the stack memory, this particular yellow thing is a stack frame. It represents like this one stack frame. Okay. Got it? Now this stack frame will contain the main method. So one stack frame it contains the main method along with all its like local variables. Local variables means the variables which are of that particular method. So the first local variable of main method is args, which is array of string. Got it? And any other local variables are there? Yes, int sum is also a local variable. Now sum here is just declared, it is not yet assigned values. Now it sees demo.add 345. Okay, so now the add method with 3 parameters is getting called. So it searches over here. This add method, no, this has 2 parameters, not getting called. This add method, ABC with parameters ABC, yes, there are 3 parameters here. So this add method is getting called. Now when a method is getting called, another stack frame comes to the view like this, right? So another stack frame gets added on top of the add method. As I said, it cannot be added below, it needs to be added at the top, it needs to be popped off from the top, like that. Okay, now add ABC is getting called. Now this 3 over here, it gets assigned to A, 4 gets assigned to B, and 5 gets assigned to C. So A3, B4, C5, sum is 12. Okay, so it returns sum now. We have got sum equal to 12. Now it's time to return the sum. So it returns the sum back to the main method, to this particular sum. Okay, add method's job is done, right? It has returned everything. Now why to keep it? Why to like fill the stack? So what it does is, after its job is done, the add method, okay, this particular stack frame is popped off. Got it? It is deleted. Got it? So now we have only main. In the main method, it prints the sum. Okay, it prints 12, and after that main is also popped off. Now the stack memory is empty again. Got it? So this is what the full thing that happens in the memory. And I have some assignments or homeworks that you can practice in your own system. So first is find the area of a rectangle using the methods, and try calling it also from the main method to see how it functions. Then you can have a method like you're passing two numbers and it is going to tell you which one is greater. Another interesting problem that you can solve is try writing a method to check if a number that I'm passing, if that is even or odd. Okay, so it will just say the number is even or the number is odd. Okay, try doing it, and if you face any problem while doing the programs, then make sure to comment this down, and I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep exploring. Thank you, and bye bye.